In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. When we read John 14:1, very same thing, he says, do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. And a passage that I love in times of struggle and confusion that I really love is Psalm 46. It's a very, very powerful psalm. What does it tell us? It says that God is our refuge and strength. Listen to this very carefully. God is our refuge and strength. Refuge is where we go to for protection, where we go to be protected. He's our refuge and our strength. An ever-present help in trouble, meaning that he does not leave, meaning that he's always there. He's ever-present in trouble. He's always there with his children. He's an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. We will not fear. Why? Because our God, our Father, is an ever-present help in times of trouble. He never, ever, ever leaves us. So we see a picture here that's very frightening. It's very concerning. Every foundation is falling away. The mountains are falling into the heart of the sea. The waters are roaring. The mountains are quaking. And yet, the psalmist is saying, no, I will not focus on those things. I will focus on my God, because he is God Almighty. He is omnipotent. He is my refuge. He is my strength. And he's an ever-present help in time of trouble. But in times of struggle, what does the enemy do? He comes to us and says, where is your God? Eh? Where is your God? If God was so loving and so kind, you wouldn't be going through this. If God was so merciful, if he was there, you wouldn't be having these problems. If God was so great and so good to you, why are you going through all this tribulation and trials? Well, remember, as the Bible tells us, that he's a liar, the father of lies. And when he speaks what? His native tongue, which is lies. And that is why it is so critical as a believer to always be in the Word. Because then we can fill our mind with the truth of God. Christ said, what? I am the way, the truth, and the life. So the only way to counter the lies of the enemy, because he lies to do what? To bring doubt, to bring fear, to erode our faith, and take our focus off the Lord. But God says that he's an ever-present help in times of trouble. He never leaves us. He never forsakes us. So going back to our story of King Jehoshaphat and the people of Judah, in verse 1 to 4, what we see is that this vast army is coming to wage war against them and attack them. They are faced with a situation and they're about to be wiped out by their enemies. But what does the Bible tell us is the first thing that they did? Worry? No. Fear? No. Overcome with hopelessness and doubt? No. What the word tells us is that almost immediately, what did they do? They went to their Father in heaven for help. Almost immediately, they went to their Father in heaven for help. They went to God for help. Verse 3, 2 Chronicles 20 says, alarmed, King Jehoshaphat resolved to what? He resolved, he determined, he made up his mind. That's what the word resolve there means. He determined to inquire of the Lord, not man. The first place he went to was to God. He inquired, he resolved to inquire of the Lord. And then he did what? He proclaimed a fast for all of Judah. Verse 4, the people of Judah came together to seek help from the Lord. Indeed, they came from every town in Judah to seek him. And what's the first thing that we do when we are in trial? We try to help God, isn't it? Trying to come with our own solutions. Yes, God will give us divine wisdom. He will give us divine direction. But that wisdom and that direction has to come from Him. We cannot help God do His work. So we see here that almost immediately they went directly to God for help. So the point I'm trying to make here is that when serious situations occur, when we have nowhere else to turn to, when we don't know what else to do, when we're overcome by confusion and fear and anxiety, when these things arise in our lives, the point is that no matter how much your flesh and my flesh wants us to worry, because that's the default nature of the flesh. No matter how much your flesh wants you to worry and be fearful and be overwhelmed, the first thing you must do is go to God and stay with God and stay with God and stay with God until He gets you through. The flesh will make us want to worry and be fearful and be overcome. But we must go to God, stay with God, remain with God until He answers us.